An AI music generator can spit out a track in 10 seconds, a clean mix, a catchy chord progression, 100 variations before your coffee even gets cold. Type corporate tech background music and the machine hands you exactly that. But here's the problem, and it's one more business leaders are starting to notice. AI cannot build a sonic brand because sonic brand isn't about generating files. It's about making strategic decisions, about understanding how sound lodges itself in human memory and building an identity that holds up across years, not just filling 3 empty minutes in a video. And making those decisions well takes two things AI simply doesn't have: experience and taste. Let's start with experience. What does experience in branding actually means? It means knowing the physical, social, and emotional rooms where business actually happens. AI has never sat in boardroom, it's never felt the silence right before a major pitch or tension of presenting to investors who are not easily impressed. All AI knows is patterns, the statistical average of every audio file that already exists. And here's the thing nobody tells you. A great brand sound is never built on the average. Average is exactly what you're trying to escape. If your brand sound is just the average of every corporate track ever made, you'll sound like everyone else. Like the stock music behind a generic explainer video, forgettable by definition. AI doesn't grasp the real context for your brand lives in. It doesn't know how a client in London hears something differently than a client in Tokyo. It can't sense why a subtle dip in a melody makes a luxury hotel feel more premium, or why a loud aggressive scene can quietly wreck trust in a cybersecurity brand. Those are human judgments. They come from years actually listening to real audiences, not from analyzing waveforms. AI can read the frequencies in a sound. It cannot feel what sound does to a person. Which brings us to the second piece, taste. Taste isn't picking music that sound nice. Taste is knowing what to cut, what to keep, and how to align sound with what a brand actually stands for. AI doesn't have taste, it has probability. It doesn't know why a sound feels cheap, or why a plain, organic instrument can build more trust than a polished electronic beat. It can fill the gap between a stock jingle and identity that's actually yours. Taste requires empathy, and you have to see the audiences sit and ask, does this sound represent who we actually are? Or does this frequency feel safe? Does this rhythm feel innovative? Or does it just feel busy? AI can ask those questions because it doesn't know what integrity feels like. It doesn't know what trust sounds like. All it knows is that one chord progression statistically tends to follow another. When a business hands this job to AI, what comes back is clean but plastic. An audio logo that feels like a template. And in a world when attention is expensive, blending in is the one thing you can afford. If your visual look premium but your sound feels generic, client notice. Even if they couldn't tell you why, they just feel that something's off. And quietly they read it as your brand being less mature, less consistent than it claims to be. There's another piece AI misses entirely, the sonic system. Sonic branding isn't a single asset, it's a system. How your brand sounds on YouTube, in a podcast, walking into an event, on hold during a phone call, in a notification on someone's phone. A human designers built that system as a whole. We built a sonic DNA, a small set of rules, melodies, and textures that can stretch and bend without breaking. That's energetic for an event, calm for hold music, short for an audio logo, but always pointing back to the same identity. AI can think that way. It can connect your mobile app sound to your investor deck, It only generates isolated files from isolated prompts, no thread running through them. AI is a tool, a good one even, for brainstorming, for sketching idea fast, for giving a human composer somewhere to start. But a sketch is not a brand identity. At Dimulti Music, we don't start by pressing the generate. We start with strategy, your competitor's sonic landscape, your touch points, the auditory personality your brand actually needs. Only after that do we write a single note. We bring years of production experience and an understanding of business and human taste into the room. Because your brand sound shouldn't be decided by a statistical model. It should be decided by people who can actually hear what's at stake. So, before your next project goes to an AI generator, ask yourself one question. Are you filling empty space or are you building a brand? If you want your brand to sound distinct, consistent, and memorable, work with people who understand your business. Links below. Let's design a sound that actually belongs to you. Let's make your brand not just heard, but recognized.